Right, so we got my expedition down Steve's place, and wait till you see how I plug this line. It's pretty crazy. It's good. So that's Tony's freaking hose stuffing job. This is the line that broke. It broke right at the white metal. I came out in the morning. My wife and I went out for Chinese food, and I came back, and there was a puddle of training fluid and a transmission fluid under the truck.
And he oil sprayed the whole bottom of his truck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he doesn't have to worry about that all rusted now. So,
No.
But you know what? Here in New England, you can drive through a couple of rainstorms and a few car washes, and it'll be right back to normal. So
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the car wash after this. Friggin' go through a few times.
it doesn't look up at the belt. It didn't spray on your belt, which is good. But this got wet.
The crank is shiny.
But it didn't hit your. Got the oil filter, everything, huh?
Yeah, what a pain in
All
the
right, so there's a quick disconnect fitting for this.
That's not so quick to disconnect.
It's got a lot of flex to it, huh?
It does have a lot of flex to it.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you gotta take the grill out of this truck, it's kind of a pain in the ass. There's like rivets at the top, I guess. So I was checking that out online. Nothing's easy anymore. Alright, so Steve's got this tool. I was messing with this on my back in the driveway, and it wasn't much fun to mess with. It was actually kind of a pain. Yeah.
It's closing on that.
Yeah. Now you're supposed to be able to get that tool in there,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to release
The spring in
the
there.
spring in there. I mean, this truck is pretty darn clean. It's not rusty at all.
And it's just not
Yeah, it's just a pain.
releasing that spring.
No, it's just these things are a nightmare to get off. All these are good for is a guy on the assembly line.
Try pushing it up and then.
All right, so it wasn't just me.
Yeah.
I was just messing with this on my back in the driveway. It was a pain.
Oh, this is the proper tool for it.
That is the proper. It's the right one. Hey, you got it off. What a pain in the ass that was.
We had to press this down.
Yeah?
And I bought these two from the Cornwall guy.
Yeah.
And this is the name brand that he sold me.
Okay.
And there's two in a package. And, you know, I mean, I just nicked this thing up a little bit from squeezing with the pliers, but we didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
The spring that's in here
Sick, can you see it?
is like a metal type sleeve.
Yeah, that thing just failed.
And it just, yeah, so, all right, let's see what kind of length we have with the hose here. We got a pretty nice barb here. So if we cut this barb off this hose gingerly,
That's what I was thinking.
so let's cut this, and if we can get this up, now look at the barb we have right here. If we got a clamp right in the middle of this right here,
Yep.
that sucker ain't coming off.
That was kind of my thinking behind it. That's what I was trying to do in my driveway, but that little quick release is a pain to get in the driveway.
Well, I can imagine on your back with it dripping in your face.
Ah, yeah, it was like a
It's not
friggin' chocolate mess under there.
All right, so now we need to cut this barb off gingerly without screwing it up. So we're gonna have to hold it and cut it, and then once we cut it, we can get a bucket under here.
Now the pain in the ass part of this is once we get this fixed, this isn't like an old school truck where you can go up into the engine department and there's the engine bay and there's a transmission tube with a dipstick. We have to climb under the truck and transfer a pump in the fluid to top it back off. Yep, you good?
see if we can split this open with a screwdriver now. Okay, we just split it. Okay, so now we got to try and grab it with 2 pairs of pliers and then roll this thing out. So trying to make this wider. And I'm trying to keep this length of excuse my language, this length of hose here so that we can get the bend on it.
There's auto repair channels, and then there's auto repair channels.
Okay, it's coming.
Right, Steve?
Yep. Okay, it's coming off.
I can't even believe that this happened.
Okay. All right, so we got our sleeve off. Okay. And we only cut the very edge of the hose. Jeez and crackers, look at us. All right, so we got to get this piece out. All right, let's get some pliers. Okay.
Paging Dr. Steve.
All right. Little tiny split on the end of our hose here. I'm gonna take our trim pliers. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna get this. So my goal here is to get the hose to slide up to this point. Mm-hmm. Okay, and as long as I get it to a little past this one, I can clamp it right in the center of this barb right here, and then we'll make sure it doesn't leak. And it looks like it's gonna slide up there good.
Nice.
It's well lubricated. Got it. I'm gonna try and get it right in on this barb here. And that's going to cover this like this. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if I technically got it up here, I'd be too close to the thing. So I'm trying to just get it to this point right here. And then we're going to clamp it. And we'll go with the clamp this way.
I'll get away from that sensor. What a crazy thing to happen.
All right. Okay, I'm on the barb. Let's see if I can get it up there a little. Not really gonna go up past that much more.
No.
But I'm down to where my thumb is.
Okay, that's a pretty good spot.
So I think I'm gonna clamp this right here. And I think we're gonna be good.
Okay.
I'll clamp it up towards the top. I gotta clamp like that. I just don't know if I can get it up any higher. This is a nice heavy clamp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's tight.
Okay.
Okay. This line is fitting back comfortable where it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. The clamp's nice and tight. Now, you know, we're just starting to see a little bit of the rubber not really coming through, just barely coming through, so we know it's tight. But, you know, in the next oil change that we do on the truck, we're just going to try and make sure that it's still tight, and it may need a quarter of a turn.
You don't want to crank on it too much either.
No, but these are heavy clamps, so.
Okay.
And it's coming through the rubber. You can just feel it, so I know it's tight on there.
Okay.
Okay, so now, like Tony was saying, we're gonna wipe down the crash sensor here and wipe down some of this heavy stuff. He can run it through the car wash.
Yeah.
And wipe that, down.
Clean all this up.
Okay, so this looks good, and the other one has this. They have these plastic sleeves on them to hold them on, in case they blow off. But they obviously don't blow. They break.
They break, yeah.
You ain't gonna get that off. So I had this same style on my daughter's '07 Explorer, limited with a 5 liter in it. 4.6. And I had a hard time getting the fitting off the radiator, and on her '07 it was rotted, and I had to just very gingerly cut it with the Wizard cutter, kind of like what we did.
Yep.
And I was okay with the line, but it didn't want to come off, and the fittings were on the new radiator, so I got the fitting. I had a new one anyways, but the line wouldn't release, just like what we ran into with this. We were able to get some pressure on it with the pliers to get it to sink down. It obviously had enough oil on it because it was soaked with oil, so it's not like it was dry, but they're just difficult to come off. So now we're gonna put it up, and we're gonna put it down, and Tony's gonna run it for a few minutes, and then we'll show you how to fill the transmission. There's a 19 millimeter plug on the passenger side. Now, if you don't have a lift and you're doing this at your house, you have to have it up on jack stands, be safe, but it's got to be level.
Yeah.
And the transmission has to be up to operating temperature. If you run the truck for 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to be really close to operating temperature. And then next time it comes in for an oil change and we put it up, we'll double check the fluid. You may be off a half a quart, you may not be. But if you're running it for a good 10 minutes or so, 12 minutes, you'll be up to operating temperature. It says to be about 140, 150 degrees to check it. And if you take that plug out without it running, fluid will just leak right out. You have to check it with the engine running.
Yep.
So if you're going to jack it up on stands, you better be safe, get it up high enough so you can roll under there. And when we show you, the exhaust is right next to the thing. So
Yeah.
it gets hot quick.
It's hot.
So, all right, so we're going to put it down. We're going to start it up. We'll put it up, make sure there's no leaks, and then we'll top off the fluid.
Steve and I did a video a little while ago on my 2012 Expedition. We show you how to check the fluid level and top that truck off as well. I'll throw a link into the description of the video, and at the end of this video, it's that video as well.
So here's your factory dipstick and where that hangs out.
See how close my hand is to the heat shield and the
you
converter?
gotta be careful.
If you're laying on your back, it's kind of going to suck a little, but if that's your only option. Now we're going to pull the cap off, and the dipstick usually comes out with it the first time, and then there's the dipstick. So we're going to wipe it down. We're going to pop it in.
If you get any kind of reading, I'll be amazed. Can't get here in two.
Okay, you've got the little seal washer here. You got to make sure that's on there.
Yep.
You're going to push it down so it's, see how it's flat now, it's flush. Okay, I'm going to pull it out. And we've got no reading on the stick.
I didn't think you would.
So we got to get up to this sweet spot up here in the middle. So we're going to go, we figure we got to dump at least a quart or two into it. So Tony bought a 5-gallon jug. I got my suction gun here.
That's the right stuff, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay. That's right by. Keep changing the packaging on stuff. This is what you need to do now. Instead of putting it down a transmission tube in the engine compartment, you gotta transfer it in.
So here's a Mighty Jack suction guns now, and they have like one for $30 and one for $50, and they're clear, and they have double seals on them, and they work so much better than the traditional $20 suction guns.
Yeah, you've had good luck with that one, huh?
Yeah, and they have a bigger one, you know, but to be honest with you, for everything that we've done here with filling differentials and rear ends, this one has been fine. So we're gonna do about 4. We got 3 in here now. This will be 4.
Where'd you get that one,
That's
Steve?
about it. I got it off the Cornwall guy, you know, and
That's kind of what I figured.
okay, so we're gonna do this fifth one, and then we're gonna put the stick in. See what we got. So it's very important to make sure that you know what your transmission fluid level is, because you don't want any transmission damage by running it low. So you pretty much got to get this right, you know. So So we still don't have a reading. Now this is a 4-quart container. Tony is not sure how much fluid he lost, you know.
I have no idea.
But when you look at the undercarriage of the vehicle, it sprayed out pretty quick. He lost a good amount of fluid. So
Yeah, it comes out quick when the line disconnects. It goes all over the place fast.
yeah, it's high pressure coming out.
It's a pump. Getting anything yet?
No.
Great.
Nothing. So he definitely lost at least 4 quarts of fluid on this thing.
So it's a slow go with the suction pump, right? Starting to get a reading on the stick.
Yeah, we're just about.
Almost there.
I'm gonna double check it one more time.
Okay.
Okay, we're not quite. We're just. So I'm thinking we need at least need another quart.
Yeah.
No, is there anything left in this?
What?
Okay, we're right at our level. Right in the sweet spot in the middle.
Okay.
So I'm comfortable with that. And and it took exactly 4 quarts. We'll check it one more time.
Yep. It's a 5-quart jug, isn't it?
No, 4.
4? Is it really?
All those APF ones are 4. I mean, all the trends. Jesus, man, huh? This fucking thing sucks to take off.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, right there. Right on the line. So that's where I want to be.
Okay.
So as it gets a little hotter, it's going to come up a little more, but it's not overfilled. Next oil change, we'll double check it. Make sure it's right there.
Yep.
So we're going to put the dipstick back in the hole.
Yep.
Make sure it's bottom. And then we got our plug here. We've got to get in. All burning ourselves.
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
I'm glad that little heat shield's there. Usually threads down by hand.
Okay.
Until you can get the wrench on it now. Just gotta be snug, you don't gotta kill it.
Nope.
All right, and that'll be it. So we know we're up to temperature, we ran it long enough, and we're gonna look at our line again over here. It's been running long enough.
Yep.
The line's bone dry, we're happy with that. Okay, the belt was chirping a little bit because there was a little bit of oil that sprayed up on it.
It stopped.
But, you know, you think the old Expeditions used to have a big metal cover to come up here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of odd that we got this big gaping hole for road debris to come off, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of sucks, but there used to be some metal clips that came into the frame rail here, and you had a shield that came right underneath here.
But yeah.
And they're probably still available. Don't really know why they don't put them on, but
It's a huge hole.
yeah, I mean,
It's like enormous.
But you know, my old 2000 Expedition didn't have a didn't have a shield on, and I ordered one from Ford factory.
I remember
you know?
that, yeah.
And you know, I bet you the frame rail hasn't changed. I
It
bet you
hasn't
it's the same,
changed.
you know?
No, yours is the same.
It's probably something to look into. I mean, God forbid you're driving down the road and a branch comes up, and you know, so we don't know what snapped this line.
I have
you know
no
what
idea.
I mean? We really don't. He doesn't go off road with it, but
Nope.
you know, having that metal cover underneath here probably makes it feel a lot better than water and slush and everything splashing up off the road. So it's something we could probably
If you're
look into.
off-roading in an Expedition, I don't think it's on purpose, Steve.
Yeah. Probably. Okay.
And we'll end it right now before we get in trouble. Thanks for watching, guys.